Aha! I remember years ago, I used to say, everything we have been taught and conditioned is backwards. I saw ahead, I already knew how this thing worked. And now, being vindicated by quantum science, it feels so great. But you guys already knew this. I knew this. I was telling you guys this for years and years. And I said to you guys, I said, guys, remember this. I gave you the analogy of tying your shoelace. They show you how to tie your shoelace. But what I'm saying to you, that's the incorrect. It's like tying your incorrect way. It's like tying your shoelace backwards. That's the correct way. And let me explain this to you, and this will profoundly change your life. It will. I mean, if this doesn't change your life, I don't know what will. But here we go. All right. How can I break this down to you in simplistic terms so you can get this? All right, so let me begin. All right. The mind and the 3D reality is the matrix, the ego. Your ego cannot be in flow state. It resists flow. Your ego mistakes flow for resistance. Keep that in mind. All right. The next thing, okay? We have been conditioned, and this is the big one. I have to see the proof. I have to see the evidence before I believe it. Everybody's been brainwashed by that. And I'm here to tell you, if you are operating in that mode, you are actually pushing away what you're manifesting. If your mindset is, I have to see some evidence, then I'll start following this stuff. I have to see the proof before I believe this. Give me some sort of evidence to show me this is real, to show me da-da-da. If you are following that, you are off track. Now, neuroscience and quantum physics, the Nobel Prize that was won in 2022 for showing reality's non-local vindicated this, threw that out the game. Your reality does not work that way. And let me show you how it works. So I would like to coin this phrase, and I'm going to call this the reverse law of manifestation. Write this down. This is how it works. You never manifest from your physical mind. All manifestation must come from an invisible, non-physical dimension, which is only driven, controlled, regulated by two things: subconscious, higher self. Let's talk about the higher self. The higher self is your hardware. It's the power source for everything you see. It feeds information down to you. All right? So here's the reverse law and how it works. Belief before proof. Trust before evidence. Frequency before form. Form means physical reality. Please write that down. Okay? Shall I repeat? Belief before proof. You must believe what you want or what you're manifesting is already there. It's done. Only then the proof may show up. But I got something more fascinating. When you believe before the proof, the manifestation comes so fast that it skips the proof. What do I mean by proof? Proof comes in two forms: the actual manifestation, or something that shows you the manifestation is 100% coming in. Okay, proof and evidence. Okay? This one is the most important one here. Trust before evidence, the reverse law. You must trust that what you are manifesting will come in at the perfect time and the perfect how And you must trust that it is not up to you. It's okay that you don't know how. You don't have to see evidence. You just know it will come in. And I'm going to tie all this together. This is the reverse law. The next one. Frequency before form. This is how your higher self works. Remember, to manifest anything, you must be in harmony with your authentic self. Oh, speaking about that, let me put a brief interruption here so I could do some, I guess, promotion, right? You know, when you watch the videos, they come in with the ads, so I'm going to do an ad for you right now. Starting November 21st is the 21-day course that is going to be groundbreaking, very revolutionary. It is the Higher Self Channeling course. It is going to teach you structurally how to tap into your higher self and channel direct highest intuition, super luck, super everything. I'll put it to you like this. You're familiar with Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks? That's her real name, Esther Hicks. She channels Abraham Hicks. You're familiar with Daryl Anka, otherwise known as Bashar? That's what he channels, Bashar. Are you also familiar that you can have that capability? So if you watch those two individuals, those two great teachers, you see how much insight and knowledge they have. Imagine you can have that on call every time. If you're a content creator, you don't have to do scripts or edit. You can just jump on and it will channel information. You can just start talking like I am. The knowledge would flow. That's the course. So it starts next week, Friday. So sign up into my school platform so you can get that going. All right, back to our normal program. All right. Now here's how this stuff really operates. You and I, we have been duped purposely. I use the word purposely. So we, okay, I'll put it to you this way. Let me make it make simple. What's the easiest way I could put this to you? All right. It's like, okay, cause and effect, right? For something to occur, there must be a cause, hence an effect. What we have been conditioned to believe is effect generates a cause. Can't do that, my friends. Cause always precedes effects. That's how we've been duped. So what you have to do now is flip it the reverse law. And I'll repeat it again because some of you may be just joining this, okay? Belief before proof. This is how your higher this is the way your higher self manifests. This is the cheat code for your higher self. You must have belief before you see any proof. You must trust before you see any evidence. You must have the frequency tuned before the form comes in. The frequency basically means you must be in that state. You must be in that expectation. You must be in that knowing. You must act as if. You must move as if it's done. That's the frequency. That will create and change the form into physical reality. Okay, the trust. The trust is you must innately know and let go that you are not qualified to control or manifest or create this thing in a specific way. You must just know that it will come up. The evidence shows up. The belief, the powerful one. You must know without a shadow of a doubt or believe that what you want not may come in, it must come in. What does that do? Let me show you what happens when you put that reverse law into effect. Here's what happens. Your brain changes channels. Your brain is like a channel. It has different stations, like a radio, okay? Your brain switches from low definition to high definition. So I'll put it to you with this. You and I are seeing things in analog. When you do that, your brain switches to 4D, 4K, whatever you want to call it, the high definition. Now, the unformed, the things that were what we call probability of existence in quantum physics, they're called superposition states. They all exist. They exist as probability of existence. When you apply the reverse law, you convert those probability of existence into physical reality. Why does this happen? Because when you apply those laws, your ego is out of the picture. There is no resistance from your ego. Your ego is not trying to look for the proof. It's not trying to look for the evidence. It's not trying to figure the way, because you've eliminated that by showing your ego, I'm going to believe it without any proof. I'm going to trust without the evidence. I'm going to apply the frequency before it manifests. So your ego now says, all right, you are crazy, you are cuckoo, I'm out of here. That's what you want. You allow the vacuum now, what we call the 0 point energy field, which is space itself is filled with information. You allow that now to permeate into your consciousness, driven by your higher self to your subconscious, and then it pops up. Well, Mark, why does this work? Here is very simple, guys. 99% of all manifestation or creation is completed before you and I see any physical evidence in our reality. Okay, can you elaborate more on that? Certainly will. They beg it to you. Your brain, my eyes, my ears, my nose, all of yours is tuned to only 1 to 2% of what we call the fractal field. In other words, 99 to 98% of the truth, reality, everything is hidden from our normal senses. So 99% of everything is happening outside of our awareness. That's the simplest way I can make this up. If you don't believe this, I don't care. It's not about belief now, it's about science. So go argue with the physicists, go argue with the decades of evidence, or go argue with the mathematics, go tell them it's BS. That's on you. But it is now factual. The Nobel Prize was won in 2022. Vindicated that case is now closed. So my friends, so my tribe, how are you doing on this aspect? I'm sure many of you never heard of the reverse law because no one is, it's new. I just made it up. I just created it. It's the reverse law. It's how your subconscious works. Now you probably hear everybody start using reverse law. Would you like me to repeat again the reverse law? You gotta get the reverse law, how it works. And do you see why it works 100% of the time? Because it's tied into science. How the field operates, how your consciousness decodes information and puts it. So someone says, yes, repeat. So the reverse law basically says this. This is your higher self. Everything that you and I desire or we want, it doesn't operate from proof, from evidence, or from seeing a physical reality. It all comes from the non-physical first. The reverse law says, in order for something to come into your physical reality, you must apply these mindsets. You must believe it before you can see any proof of it. You must trust it before you can see any evidence, and you must tune into a frequency before the form physically manifests. That's the reverse law. Let me show you the law that messes you up and everything. Here's the law. The original law says you have to see it, then you will believe it. The original law says look for evidence first, then you can trust it. The original law says ignore the frequency and look for how it's going to come into your reality. That doesn't work. Got? Well, if it did work, every single one of you and every person that's manifesting would already have what they want. Obviously, it doesn't work. Now, you're going to have to switch up your mindset, and you are going to have to start to work on doing this, because it is the only way you are going to get things in the physical reality. And then repeat it again. Some of you just log it in here. The reason is, guys, only 1 to 2% is what our senses can detect. Everything else, we're not aware of it. The field itself that generates physical reality is non-physical in its nature. It's in a form of what we call superposition. It's a probability of existence. When you apply these three laws, what you are doing is you are detaching, you are letting go, and you're freeing your ego from responsibility, which releases a bunch of energy or resistance that was blocking what was supposed to come in. Now, when you apply the matrix law, the law that they taught you in school, when you try to look for a proof, or you have to see it before you believe it, that doesn't make any sense, because check this out. The one written code in the multiverse is there must be causality, and then there becomes an effect. Cause, effect. effect doesn't override cause. Not in this dimension. Maybe in another multiverse, I'm sure that law applies. But for where we are situated right now and how our physics work, it's not here for us. Okay? Maybe one of your doppelganger, it works in that part of the field in a parallel universe. But in this universe, the law of physics works. Causality, effect. Okay? Entropy, everything must move from order, disorder. Entropy spreads. That's how our game is wired. That's how our game is coded. So you have to play by the game. Got it? All right. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, happy manifesting. Knowledge without implementation, of course, is not good. It's futile. So, keep going. See you at the top. Happy manifesting.